owner of the facility. So these are the problems. Okay, during registration of these private facilities by regulatory bodies, some of us hire, we are not working with them, but we can give out our certificate for a token. And after it has been registered, of course, you collect your certificate and go. The factory continue in that facility. Unfortunately, for some of us, our relations have fallen victim of these mushroom facilities doing rendering such service. So we rent out our licenses to do some. Leaving a facility before we enter the order, they have already called the other one. There is trouble on ground. There is a team coming around because we went with a combined team of the Nursing and Military Council Committee, the police, and then the legal team. Before we got to that facility, it was a box of itself. Everybody has disappeared. And during this exercise, of course, the banks either put on mufti in some places. They pretend to be health attendants and they wear attendance uniform. And they will either answer record officers or casual workers. But immediately you leave that place, they are resumed their status as nurses in charge of that facility. Next slide. Of course, during the monitoring among the team members, okay, and the council, there was a place we are constrained. In fact, council, we have a limit to what we can go, so that litigation will also not come against us. Okay, as of the time I know, when you are caught in such an act, I don't know whether a fine of 1,000 naira is positive enough for somebody engaged in such a crime. Of course, at a point, we have to refer it to the legal team of the council to continue from there when we have, at the point when we felt we have done our part. So, but we don't put somebody caught in an act of robbery like this. Next slide. So, that the white uniform has been used for non-professional, and so we should claim the ownership of the white uniform and bar every other person from using white as a measure of foretelling this menace. But do we have any law backing that white is exclusively for nurses? The answer is no. Of course, you can't go ahead with that until there is helpful for us in defining ourselves and the image of our profession. Okay. And the mother of our profession has suffered a lot to bring out nursing into what it is today. And it's a call to every one of us that in one way or the other, directly or indirectly, we should be able to do our best to salvage the image of the profession. Of course, NAM and the Nursing and Military Council alone cannot do it. Next slide. Unless we have policies that clearly stated that if you are caught, this is the punishment, and should be a punishment enough that will serve as deterrent. In fact, some of the places we closed down, after 2-3 weeks, when you send a spy to those places, you discover that some of them have been opened because you have not punished them enough. That somebody can say, yes, this one I now had to stop. So there should be laws prohibiting conflict and should also be put in place with a tough punishment for violators. Nursing education in our federal state schools should also be subsidized as recommended by the government in order to make it affordable to individuals who have the passion for the profession, but they are financially incapacitated. Of course, now we have people, I have the money, I can go into. And by the time they come in and do anyhow, of course they are putting money, they want to make money out of it. There are people that are genuinely called into nursing, but they are handicapped because, of course, the cost of the training is going up, and it's not everybody that can afford that. So if we have it like that, and we can be able to follow the nitty-gritty in the recruitment of our students, both qualified, both in intellectually and morally in their conduct should be the one to be admitted. By the time they are out, of course, it's going to be a refined product that will be a book to the profession. And then the please next slide. Stipends for our student nurses. When I entered school about almost 20 years ago, we are getting it small, but just a year after or so, it stopped. It was an encouragement. Somebody who is getting that one will be encouraged to give in his or her best. I have learned in some places there are students that go out to do some PP because of pressure. They don't have what it means to take care of themselves, so they want to find alternative means of taking care of themselves. By the time they are getting this support, they will be able to concentrate, study, and be able to come out best, and for the good of all of us. So government and other organizations can also support student nursing with scholarship schemes that we encourage brilliant but less privileged ones among us to also get the best out of the profession. I think this is supposed to be the last slide or second to the last slide. Okay, nothing. This is in conclusion. Now, the Nursing and Midwifery Council Committee in Kaduna State has been actively pursuing this cause of ensuring that only qualified nurses render nursing services to our clients. And this we are doing by a combined teamwork, just as I mentioned in the course of the presentation. We have visited places, many places within the state. And the discovery was so mind-blowing. Many of them use primary schools at weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and they are training nurses. In fact, when I went through one of the certificates, a registration number, if you are not an insider, it is a replica of what the council does. RN so in a certificate. So, and to my greatest shock, 15 years training these fellows in a secondary school, and this thing continued unabated until we got there. The owner of the school is a businessman. He cannot even speak English. So the council has been doing a lot about that. But one of our disappointments, we are involved, just as I said. By one of the places, one of us, we are so disappointed that he is the one standing in police school. So if anything comes up, he represents the school as the nurse that is in charge of the place. But the real owner of the school is a zoologist. So it is a call for all of us. Those of us involved in this. I was telling somebody, if somebody can do what he's supposed to be doing, that person is capable of keeping you out of job. Those things we think we can cheaply give them out to some fellows because you are feeling important in that place. I'm not a teacher, uncertified teacher. Everybody that comes, maybe you know how to give it, you want to know how to give injections, you know how to serve this and that and that. You dish out cheaply this knowledge to this element. Of course, I don't need to tell us that half knowledge is more dangerous than the better you know you have even have it. I go to a place where one of them gave protein penicillin IV, and the patient slumped there and died. I also went to a place where they took a Fulani man and put him on the operating table. By the time they opened him, and they discovered that they don't even know which one is which, and which one to touch, which one not to touch. They left him on the operating table, he bled and died on the operating table. And when they noticed that the man was dead, they just escaped through the exit door and disappeared. So a lot of things are going on. And some of us are guilty because we gave them half knowledge, and they are using it to perpetuate this crime. If you are caught in the act, of course, you have to blame yourself. Last but not the least, please, even if you are qualified, you should operate within your area of jurisdiction. Some of us are doing a form of quackery, I can say the modernized form of quackery. As a nurse, of course, the law did not back you to operate the patient. I know some of us are very good in it. We teach even some doctors how to do some of these things. But of course, the law is still the law. If you are caught, you'll be in trouble. We have cases presently that we are battling to handle of colleagues who have indulged in such things. Unfortunately, in the process, something drastic happened, and of course, litigation came up. So, of course, how do we expect us to stand for it when the law says it is not within your area of jurisdiction to do this and that, and went ahead and do it? So, let us also be cautious of what we do. I work in a teaching hospital. There are some other procedure I do, but I also do it when when I have the necessary backing to do it. Otherwise, of course, you can't do it. So let us save the image of our profession. Let us also save ourselves the embarrassment that will come. Thank you very much for this.
I believe we are all learning something, right? Like this, I guess one confession to make. When I finished school, I studied international relations, art students, pure art students. My art to their house, she don't get person, she gets pharmacy. She can't come here at their house now, come shop, what they say. Come teacher. The day she go shop, she can't come out, and make shop like you. A little confession, no, I don't give me shop. One person don't come. Please, I'm having a slight headache. Please, can you just give me drugs? Art students. No. Okay, what you need next? Tetracycline. I just put up tetracycline, give him for headache. Person come, another person come, please, I'm having some running stomach. Now give him the suspension. It's not my fault. Now my auntie tell me, say, look at what you been doing. I will tell you out. Please, notice something. When I know the chop is not chop, so don't know how to take me. Now you do one, no, I don't fear. Me, I know the fear. I didn't get that. In case you know, I will work out pattern. When I don't fear, chop it. So please, to the next speaker, please just have like 15 minutes for each speaker, because there are some students here that need to go back to their hostel and they are actually running away from time. So the next speaker here is going to be taking us on the stepping on the North narrative. Okay, he's going to be taking us on national and global leadership strategy. And it's no other person than Nurse John Mindy. Sorry if I did not pronounce your name well, sorry, not my fault, I be a five boy. So he's no other person, he's a lecturer in St. Gerard's College of Nursing, Kaduna. Please a round of applause to him and stand for.
National and global strategy in nursing leadership has been a strong since colonialism as equal to Nigeria gaining independence. Has been a strong anti-over practice medical services within the country. Now, Mandibel in 2021 did define nursing leadership as art.
Excuse me, bring the mic close to your mouth.
Okay. Mandy Bell 2021 did define nursing leadership as an art and science of directing, influencing, moderating, and guiding healthcare practitioners in achieving a common goal while they work together. Now, following independence Act 89 in 1979, the North American Council was enacted as a board, and that led to the establishment of the new registrar, which is Adesua Oni, the first registrar of nursing in Nigeria, and that was when leadership at national level commences to organize the profession and give a first order in which it will progress, bringing up several modalities to other agencies to direct the affairs of this profession. It has been inherited clinical nursing practice as a tradition where everyone that comes into the profession is obsessed to become a clinician. But so by our fourth speakers did mention administrative, educative, and so on. So having up research, business, and other section. The national plan commenced from establishing institutions where healthcare professionals, to be more specific, nurses, will be trained to acquire relevant and requisite skill and knowledge for professional practice. This I was also a beneficiary of it. I did my basic nursing in Medical Institution of Tanzania, which was on full scholarship to the 1,500 naira. That was how I did my training. So it was part of the national scheme to ensure professionals get the benefits, the national dividend, to acquire this knowledge and skills for to damage them with what they would require to become professional nurses. Subsequently, they were licensed for practice. Other national plans include setting up of the curriculum. It has been a haphazard setup where there wasn't any formal organized structure for training, in that the colonial masters were responsible for all that was being done. They brought in, and which was not too adaptable at the moment with our then culture. Subsequently, the National Ministry of Health, the moderation of training, and of course, which includes both theoretical and practical training, they were licensed and were rightly employed. They were gainfully employed, automatic from graduation, not as it is at the moment when we have just struggling to gain employment. How to make professional development and growth within the country. They went into replicating several facets within the profession, where we had earlier the ophthalmic nursing, the gynecology, the intensive care units, access to emergency,